Welcome to Creativism, the show for creatives, filmmakers, Christians, and productivity nerds. I'm your host, Josh the Creative. Do you feel like your job takes away from your desires in life? Like you only live to work? Does the routine of going to work, same time 5 days a week, make your weeks feel boring and mundane or repetitive? Do you feel like the job is consuming your day-to-day life, keeping you from being able to do even the smallest tasks for you to achieve your goals or get onto the path that you are aiming for? Well, it's time for you to take advantage of the time that you have. So to do this, you have to first assess your day-to-day schedule based around work. Adapt to that schedule and find ways to work around it. So, do you work in an early morning shift? Well, you can use your nighttime to carve out some time to do what you have to do. If you work evening shift, do the opposite. Find some time in the morning, wake up a little earlier, and carve out that time to do what you have to do what you are desiring to do. If you have lunch breaks, an hour long, that is an awesome amount of time to actually utilize. Take that time to work on planning your next project. Take that time to do some research that may be necessary for building up into something. Take that time to get in contact with people who maybe can help your project come to life. Take some time while you're commuting to work. Listen to a helpful podcast. Take that time to kind of talk out your ideas for your next project. So we can't let the "I don't have time" to be an excuse for avoiding doing what we're called to do, avoiding doing what we're passionate about doing. It's all too easy to go down that route. It's all too easy because we're all too familiar with it. But we have to choose to make the time, even if it's 10 to 15 minutes a day. So that brief list in the beginning, all those things, like that's what I do right now. And then some. I when I'm driving to work, I love either if I'm not in prayer over my day, I love listening to a podcast about some type of creative based or filmmaking based topic that's going to help get my mind kind of geared towards that sort of mindset. I also love, especially when I've had a cup of coffee and I'm just like talking 10 miles a minute, I love to be able to spend that 30-minute drive just talking out, getting out ideas. I'll have my phone near me recording while I'm just kind of talking out some ideas for this project, for this venture, for this film, just because I have that time. I mean, I'm driving, but other than that, I'm not doing anything else. And on some days, I'm going to be like my mind's still going, thinking about stuff. So I at least want to be to kind of harness that. I'm not sure if I'm using the right word, but harness that and actually put it into something that's going to be productive later on. I'll even record some ideas for podcast episodes or short film ideas that I'm going to be working on pretty soon. At my job, I have it's set up to where if it's slow, I have the opportunity to just sit there and read. And I've never really had the opportunity at a job before where I can just sit and read for maybe 5 minutes at a time. And I'm telling you, it's allowed me to read, I think 4 or 5 books. So I read through, let's say I read through 2 books already. I'm about to finish 3 more. And It like that in and of itself, just that time to sit and read has been so productive and beneficial for me. I've been able to read books during that time that are going to feed into future podcast episodes. And when I'm on my 15-minute breaks, I do not care to stay in the building. If at all possible, I will go outside, walk around, at least just to get some fresh air. But sometimes I'll just spend the time kind of thinking and talking out some ideas that I have. I'll try to run to my phone and jot down something, but I'm at least taking advantage of decompressing from work so I can kind of refresh a little bit, kind of recharge. But the hour lunches, that is like my ideal time of the day because it only takes me like 20 minutes to eat, and I try to I try to make that time as efficient as possible, where I'm planning and plotting for my next film, looking at some tasks on my journal, kind of structuring some things, storyboarding for my film, writing podcast episodes, writing goals out. Now, I'm not doing all this at the same time. That wouldn't be productive. I'd be spending like a minute or two on each thing, but each day I may spend 20 minutes or 30 minutes doing this thing, the next day doing something else, so that I'm hacking at some of those goals and uh, pathways that have some sort of baby steps that I have to get into. Saying all of this, I'm not allowing my job, my daytime job, to hinder me from doing the tasks that are still in front of me. I can't skip over those tasks, and time doesn't stop or anything. At my job, I am perpetually aware of the time. I'm telling you, like I'm aware of almost every single minute for 8 hours straight, for technically 9 hours. Got to be mindful of my 15-minute breaks, my hour breaks, and just the time in between, for various reasons. And one thing I realized, looking at my watch or looking at the time keeps moving. It will always keep moving. And yeah, it's kind of a duh thing to say, but we act like we always have time. So we think, oh, I'm not gonna worry about it now because I'll have time later. And one of the problems with that idea is we put off something to a time where we don't have our days laid out or scheduled for us yet. So if I think, okay, I'm busy this week, so I can't work on storyboarding until 2 weeks from now. Well, as of right now, 2 weeks from now is cleared up. But once that 2 weeks shows up, all of a sudden I have some events to go to. I have some house cleaning to do. I have to do grocery shopping. I have to run errands. So now all that time is taken up. And then I put it off again, thinking, okay, I'll wait till I have the time. Time doesn't care about us. So we have to actually put in the effort. We have to choose to make that time. There was a video that I made last year. I think it's still on my YouTube channel, about getting your priorities straight. And one of the things about that is, you have 24 hours in the day. You always have 24 hours in the day, and you're going to have these different tasks and things to work on, things that demand or want to occupy your time. You have to decide which has priority. Like the issue isn't time, it's focus and attention. So I can have the time to be at home and just chill or watch Netflix. Like I have the time on my off days to watch Netflix all day. But that would take away from the time that I would need to spend working on this podcast, working on my film, working on the things to keep me productive. So we have to be intentional about making the time, and also assessing and figuring out how we can utilize the time we do have in between work and around work, so that we're not feeling by the end of the day, oh, I kind of really wasted this day. Kind of just sat there twiddling my thumbs, didn't really do much. And if we're operating in that mindset, there's no way we're going to actually accomplish our goals, right? And so I kind of want to end this to just kind of encourage. It's definitely possible. I know everybody's schedules are different. We all have different priorities, different goals. We have things that require different approaches. But I want to encourage you to make the time necessary, and don't fret about how much time you have to put in, or at least feeling like you have to put in a whole lot of time. You may only have an extra 15 minutes before going to bed, or you may only be able to wake up 15 minutes early before work. You know, start small if you have to, but use that time wisely. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please share this with your friends and be on the lookout for the next episode. They come out every Wednesday morning. You can follow me on Instagram at _Josh the Creative, and you can find my music on SoundCloud under Lewis Effect. I'll catch y'all next week. Deuces.